This video sees us travelling from Swan Hill in Victoria some 727 kilometres to the Southern Flinders Ranges in South Australia. It's quite a long trip, and we will show you along the way what we see as we travel the distance. As we go through Cullulleraine in New South Wales, we'll have a look at the River Murray. We'll take a bird's eye view of the Darling and the Murray rivers as they meet at the junction at Wentworth. We'll spend our first night at Lake Cullulleraine, and then we'll make our way on to Renmark and have a look at the river there. While at Waikerie, we'll show you the height that the water got up to and the recent flood event along the River Murray. We spend 2 nights at Burra Gorge in South Australia before finally making our way to the Southern Flinders Ranges, where we spend Easter with our family. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. If you like the following video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. For our first day, we travelled 309 kilometres, leaving Swan Hill and travelling through to Lake Cullulleraine. Well, g'day everyone, and welcome to the start of another video. This one's a bit different to the previous ones we've done just recently. We've left Swan Hill this morning, and we didn't really know where we're going to finish up tonight, but we had Lake Cullulleraine in the back of our mind, which is where we are now. We did get here, but we just meandered along as we went, and we took a few shots of what we found as we were going along and a few scenes that we took. So we'll roll the map of our travel today, and we'll break into the map and show you what we saw as we come along to the lake here today, so I hope you enjoy. After only a short drive, we were soon at Cullulleraine. Now Cullulleraine is across the river, so we had to cross the river here, and that now puts us back into New South Wales. So it was a quick stretch of the legs, walk down to the river and have a look there, and we were soon on our way again. From Cullulleraine, it was back across the river via the bridge, and we were back into Victoria again, and now heading towards Mildura. With all day to travel and no destination in mind for tonight, we stopped here at Boundary Bend for a cup of coffee and just to pass the time of the day. As we say, we weren't in a hurry and we had nowhere in particular that we wanted to get to that night, so it was just a leisurely drive. It was in the back of our mind at one stage that we might even stay at Robinvale, but we had heard that the caravan park was still trying to recover from the recent flood event that the river had experienced, so we stopped there for a short period and had a bit of a look, and then continued on from there. With yet another bridge to cross over the Murray River, we were now leaving Victoria and heading into New South Wales again. The kilometres were slowly clicking by, and it was now lunchtime, so we pulled into a parking bay on the side of the road and enjoyed our lunch there. As we enjoyed our lunch there, we thought, well, we weren't the only ones with that line of thought. There were a couple other caravanners there that were possibly doing the same thing. After enjoying our lunch break on the side of the road, we made our way to Golgol, and it was there that we got out and went for a bit of a walk along the River Murray. It's always nice on the green lawns there, and such a beautiful place to stop. As we looked at the lawns here, we could see that they were slowly recovering from being covered with water from the recent flood event. From Golgol, we did a right-hand turn just before we got to Mildura, and we headed over to Wentworth to have a look at the Darling River and the Murray River, where the junctions meet and the two waters start flowing together down the River Murray as they headed south towards Gorge and the outlet into the ocean. The colour of the water in the Darling River is very different to that of the water in the Murray River, and when the drone goes up very shortly, you'll see exactly what I mean. It would have been very interesting to see the height of the river here back in the flood event in late 2022. There certainly would have been a lot of water up around all this area here to the right now. That all was underwater, and once again the lawns are slowly recovering. We went down to the park area where the two rivers meet, and here Sally's pointing to the flood level mark with the stick, and that's how high the water was during the river peak back in late 2022. Looking at the water there now, the one to the left, that's the Murray River water, and the sandy colour one here to the right, that's the water that comes out of Darling, and that quite obviously there shows the two different colours of the water. And once it goes over lock number 10, you can see that it's all mixed in as one, and then it continues on downstream, looking as though it's just one colour. Now looking upstream with the Darling River to the left and the Murray River to the right, and it's very easily seen here the two different watercolours. from Wentworth, we had another bridge to cross over, and that took us out of New South Wales and back into Victoria as we made our way to Lake Cullulleraine. It's only a very narrow bridge, this one, and it's operated with stop lights because it is one-way traffic only. Before long, we'd completed our 309 kilometres for travel of today, and we were turning into Lake Cullulleraine. Now, I'm saying Lake Cullulleraine as in Cullulleraine. I'm not sure whether it may even be pronounced Cullulleraine, something like that. So if I'm wrong, let me know, and I'll continue for this video in the purpose of giving it a name, calling it Cullulleraine. This is one caravan park that we've never stayed at before, and for a long time we've gone past this one as we've travelled down the main highway and thought, yep, one day we will. So as of today, it's one more thing ticked off the bucket list. It's certainly a very nice caravan park, beautiful lawns between the caravan park sites and the lake, very nice indeed. Plenty of trees within the park, something that you need to be mindful of as you reverse your van back onto your site. The park is only a small country park, I suppose, but it certainly has all the modern facilities that anyone would want when you're stopping in a caravan park. Caravan sites where we were, which were basically, I suppose you call them a waterfront site, that was only a small part of the park. It does go back quite a ways. It has a small amenities block that services this area, and the bigger main amenities block is further back up towards the middle of the park. The lake system is topped up through a channel that comes in from the Murray River, and that will keep the lakes at a constant level all the time. After a very beautiful sunrise looking across the water on the lake, it was time to pack up and hit the road again as we made our way towards Waikerie. It was another short day on the road today with only 162 kilometres to travel, and making it a very easy and enjoyable day. Had we had the time available to us, we certainly could have stayed here a lot longer, but we had to push on, so we made our way from the lake there and headed over towards Renmark. Now leaving Victoria and entering the state of South Australia, and it was at this point in time that you realised that you were slowly getting closer to home. Located at Yamba, there is a fruit fly inspection and quarantine area, and that's necessary because we're now about to enter the Riverland district there, and the last thing they want is an outbreak of fruit fly. Over time, the rules and regulations of what you can and can't bring into these sort of areas does tend to change a little bit, not dramatically, but you need to be up to speed with what you can and can't bring in, and it pays to check on their websites We spoke to a lady here regarding some of the stuff that we thought we couldn't bring in, and as it turned out we could have, and she was very helpful and obliging and gave us a pamphlet just to bring us more information on what we can do next time we come into the situation. Renmark is only a short drive from the fruit fly and inspection area there at Yamba, and that gave us an opportunity to restock with fresh fruit and veggies. And whilst there, we went down to the Bert Dix Memorial Park and had a look at the bridge here, and just by coincidence, when we were there, it was opening time for the bridge to allow any high vessels to come through underneath the bridge that needed to go from one side to the other, so very lucky in that regard. The bridge opens twice daily from Monday to Friday, and that's 9:30 AM in the morning and 2:30 PM in the afternoon, and that's depending on traffic requirements. Once we're in the main part of Renmark, it was time to do our shopping and go for a bit of a walk along the riverfront. Renmark, like most other river towns, beautiful green lawns. Renmark sustained very little damage and wasn't really affected greatly by the recent flood event in 2022, and it was certainly a picture to be there on the day that we were here today. It just so happened that on the day that we were in Renmark, the Riverland Dinghy Club had their races there, and I tell you what, these little boats, they certainly move fast on the water. We refuelled at Renmark and made our way on to Burra, and that was our next stop along the road in our travels today, and it certainly was nice to see the foreshore area here on Lake Bonnie. It was slowly recovering from the recent flood event, but certainly a very nice day there today. After leaving Burra, it was on to Waikerie, and it was there that we overnighted. Well, we've made it to Waikerie, and we got here this morning, not long before lunch, so we set up. We're not unhooking the car or anything like that, we're only staying here overnight and then moving on tomorrow, but quite a nice drive up this morning, and as I say, here for one night, and we're in a free camp that the local council has actually put on, or opened up I should say, And this has all come about because of the flooding that's been in the area with the River Murray flooding and closing off a lot of the caravan parks. So they've opened up this free camp as a temporary measure, I guess, and it allows us somewhere to stay as we pass through. So we pull out again in the morning and we head over to Burra Creek for a couple of nights tomorrow. It was a very popular camp spot, this one, and it's right alongside those silos, so you can walk down and have a look at the painted silo art if you want to have a look at that one there. It originally was our intention to have a bit of a lazy afternoon today and just sit around the caravan, but it was such a nice day we thought we'd go for a walk towards the town, so we headed down towards the main street and had a bit of a look at the irrigation history here, and then we headed off on what they call the cliff top walk. Now this one here is, we could have gone either way on the cliff on the River Murray here, but we decided to go left, which was the downstream, and we went quite a ways down there before turning around and heading back, coming back past the parking area so we could get back up onto the top of the cliff top walk and returning back to the caravan. But they've got this lookout here, you can climb up that one and you get some great views of the River Murray. There's not a great deal of steps to get up to the top of the lookout on this one, but it's certainly worth the effort of going up and having a look. The water in the river certainly reached an incredible height during the late 2022 flood event, and here I am here pointing to the sign that's been put onto the tree that indicates the water level at the time. With the river height now back to its normal pool level, or near enough to its normal pool level, all these ferries that were shut down because of high level in the river, they're all now back up and running. Here we can see the levee bank that was formed to stop the water getting into the caravan park, and these poles here were put in for these houseboats to come up and tie up onto, and you can see the difference in the colour of the pole and where the water level was when the water was up at its peak. Another day begins as we make our way towards Morgan. Once we arrive at Morgan, we use the ferry to cross the River Murray here, and it's from Morgan that we make our way on towards Burra Creek. There is no financial charge to the road user to use these ferries. It's a government service that the government supplies to the people of South Australia and anyone that's travelling through the state. Once we'd completed our river crossing on the ferry and back on dry land, we slowly made our way towards Burra Creek, and from Morgan out through to Burra, there's not much to see other than flat saltbush country, but it is a different drive to what we have been on before, so I guess that broke a bit of the monotony, but no, we were soon at Burra Creek. Once we turn off the Burra to Robertstown road, it was only a short few kilometres up to the campground. So we've made it to Burra Creek, and a bit over a 2-hour drive this morning by the time we stopped for a while in Morgan. And here for 2 nights, and this is really bush camping. Some people call it Burra Creek, we normally do. Burra Gorge or World's End Reserve. Just a few other names that it goes by, but very nice here, so 2 nights. Burra Creek is a very large campground or camping area, and it does offer some walks. You can go up into the gorge, into the creek itself, and that's a number of kilometres up there if you're keen enough to walk that far. A little bit warm and a little bit dry for my liking. This time of the year you might happen to step on a snake or two, I don't know. So no, we just sat around our caravan for these couple of days and recharged our batteries. There is a small permanent waterhole here within the camping area, but if you want to walk up into the gorge itself, there is more water further up. We're now in the middle of the week leading up to the Easter break, so when we did arrive at Burra Creek, there were a number of campers already set up. After our 2 very relaxing nights here at Burra Creek, we made our way onto Burra, and as we went into Burra we stopped and we changed over a gas bottle on the caravan that had run out during our period on the road. From Burra we made our way over to Jamestown, and it was there that we emptied our 2 toilet cassettes and we refilled our water tanks on the caravan. Once we'd done our shopping for the Easter period, we then made our way over towards Appila Springs. Yeah, g'day everyone. We're at a place called Appila Springs. Now, we were going to stay at Jamestown in a caravan park, and we thought, well, why not come out here and have another bush camp? It's the sort of thing we like doing. So we got here just before lunch today, and it's only for 1 night. And then tomorrow when we get up and get mobile, we'll head over to our Easter camp in the Southern Flinders Ranges, and that'll be for 4 nights. And once that's over, that'll be the end of this video. So it should be good over there, 4 nights. There's a small number of other campers here at Appila Springs, but with the Easter weekend coming up, I'm sure there'll be a lot more during that period. For our 1 night here, it was interesting to watch the sunset here, and you could see the storm rolling in from the west as it made its way towards us. Still watching that storm roll in. We're up early and on the road to our Easter camp, which was only 16 kilometres from where we were now. Well, we all set up in the Southern Flinders Ranges, or nearly all set up anyway, but for our Easter break. And we're sitting at Appila Springs this morning. We looked at weather forecast and big rain cloud come in, so we thought we'd better hightail it over here and get set up. So as we nearly got here, the rain started. So once we got here, we put the awning out, so we had a bit of shelter and slowly set up. We've got a bit to go yet, but no, nice steady rain at the moment, so hopefully that won't spoil the Easter break. With the overcast cool conditions that we're now having, this was going to be a cooler Easter than what we would normally have. We have a fire permit to have a fire going, so there's no problems there, but normally it's hot, or has been hot in the last few years, but no, this year looked like being a cool one. There's a family group here for Easter, and this group has been getting together now for something like 26 years, I think it is. and we're now on this private property here, so we've got no one else around us, which is great, and the fun and festivity begins. With a good selection of stumps to burn on the fire. They're too big and heavy to pick up by hand, so having a front end loader to load them up and drop them on the fire was just ideal. Who's ever had toasted marshmallows cooked on a wood open fire? Well, that brings us to the end of this video and to the end of another Easter. It's I think it's 26 years this group's been getting together for Easter, so not a bad effort, and many years here on the private property on the Southern Flinders Ranges, something in excess of probably 12 years or more, I think. So yes, this video comes to an end, and so does a series of our On the Road 2023 series. And if you want to go back and have a look at any of the country that we've come across on this trip, we started in Adelaide, of course, and then we went down to Portland, and then Great Ocean Road, up through Ballarat and Bendigo, Swan Hill, and then back across through Mildura and Renmark until we come back here. So if you want to have a look at those, go back through our channel, and they're all there. So until the next video, you enjoy and take care and look after yourself. If you like the video that you just watched, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of our videos, click on the subscribe button. And once you've done that, change the bell notification to all. That way, every time that we do uploads to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified.